we are trying again to record a how-to on playing with filet in half double crochet. And I'm going to leave this on for another few seconds, and you can pause it and read it if you're one of those people who would prefer reading a pattern. Okay, and now I'm going to show, that is just for row 1. I'm going to show a couple of examples. For that, I'm going to need to go out quite a bit. Okay. This is an example that is very long and thin. It's 5 inches wide. And before I turned up the ends and sewed them together, making these neat little pockets that worked really well for holding on to the cold steering wheel when it's autumn and you don't want to admit that it's getting cold. That's what I did the other day. Anyway, you can see it's very, very long. Oh, I turned it over. I think it was nigh on to 6 feet. And with age, I'm not even 5'2.5" any longer, so it was a little bit long for me. And this one was for me, so I made the nice little serviceable pockets. But I did this by chaining multiples of 5, and I just kept going until I thought it would be long enough and to make a very, very long scarf. Okay, that's example 1. And this is what I am calling my house divided afghan. It's a small afghan, but you can see I live in Michigan, and there's a rivalry, even though I'm not a football fan, actually not a sports fan of any kind. But there's a rivalry between Michigan State Spartans, which is the green and white, and the Michigan Wolverines, U of M, which is the navy and gold. I don't know what colors they call them, but anyway, the two of them together in one blanket. One of my children said that in some people's minds this would be a blasphemy to have the same colors, but I think it turned out really pretty. And to be honest, they do sell flags you can put in front of your house that say a house divided, or the husband and wife do not agree on which should be the winning team. So, I am going to show you how to do row 1. And first off, this is, I'm not sure, I think it's possibly Karen 1 pound. It's a very large skein anyway. Something similar to that. And this is Karen Simply Soft. I'm just showing it to show how much. Let's go in just a smidge. Okay. How much thicker the yarn I'm using, even though they're both worsted weight according to their labels, and number 4 in the US. Even with that, it's, you know, obviously a difference there. And because this is all done in half double crochets, in order to create more drape and not make a stiff blanket, I am using a 6.5 millimeter hook. I don't know if it's easy to read or not. Okay, and I don't have any of the more expensive fancy hooks, so that's just a thing to put on a pencil. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be using for most of the demonstration for this size of yarn. However, I do recommend going down one hook size for row 1 only. And this is so that the fillet boxes that you create in row 1 end up to be the same size as the fillet boxes in the rest of the project. So to start, you just count off in 5s. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm only doing 2 in order to make this a shorter video. And then you add 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Then you go into the yarn over, and you're going to do a half double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it is important on this to make round 2 easier. It'll look neater and be easier to see that you go under 2 loops. Okay, leaving only 1 there. And you're going to do that 3 more times. So that's the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th half double crochet in a row. So you've created 4 half double crochets in a row. Then you're going to chain 1, skip 1, go into the next one. Let's get back under here. 1, 2, 3. Can go in just a little bit, maybe. Don't want to go in too much. This is my 3rd try at this because I keep going off camera. This is not a natural position for me to crochet in. Okay, and if you did it right, you've finished, your whole long line. You should have groups of 4 with chain 1 space in between, and you should end up with 1 chain left over. You will chain 1 and then do a half double crochet into the final chain and going under 2 loops. Okay, there. Okay, now that is the end of row 1, and I'm going to put up round 2, and I'm also going to switch my hooks so I don't accidentally use the wrong one. And we'll move these out of the way, and we will put up round 2. See if we can get it lined up here, and we'll go in just a bit. Okay, I think that's down low enough. Okay, we'll leave it there a couple more seconds so that you can pause it if you're one of those people who needs to read instructions in order to understand it. Okay, now we will do round 2. Also, I should point out here, if you want to change color after this round or any round, I recommend cutting your yarn, weaving in the ends right away so that you can crochet over them. Then you don't have to weave them in quite as judiciously. But if you're going to continue, and when, especially when you get farther on, you will have a choice of 4 corners. Pick a corner, a different corner than where you cut your yarn and wove off, or, weaved in the ends, so you don't develop any bulkiness there. Okay, we're set in the corner, set up where we need to be. So we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to do 2 half double crochets, in that chain 1 and half double crochet space that we created in round 1. And then we're going to do what are going to be all of the other corners that aren't the beginning corner. What I found works best, you can figure out what works for you. I was doing 2 loose chains, and that was not working. So I started doing 3 chains, but then I tug on it and make them tight. So I do 3 tight chains, and then the final 2 half double crochets that go into the corner there. Stay out of the way. Okay. So we have our going just a smidge. Okay. Now, this is what I need to point out here. We've done 2, and you see how this one's kind of covering up the top of that stitch? We're going to skip over that one. We're not going to put anything in it. We are going to work into the next one. A half double crochet. And into the next one, another half double crochet. And you see how they merge together and they look just fine. We're going to chain 1, skip that stitch, and put 2 half double crochets into the chain 1 space. See that? Okay. And then we are going to go into not this one, but the 2 middle ones. 1, there, and 2. And I want you to see that it looks just fine, even though these 2 stitches kind of crowd over that. Okay. Now we're going to skip that stitch. Oh, chain 1, skip that stitch, and put 2 half double crochets into the end fillet box there. Okay, and then we're to do another corner again with 3 tighten down chains. I just kind of make it and then tug on this, and it'll tighten that. Do another little tug. And 3rd one. There. Okay. And then we do 2 more half double crochets and another corner. And then we put our last 2 half double crochets into the fillet box. Okay. Okay. Now we are lining up, and you can see it's much more noticeable. Whoops, we're too high there. Much more noticeable that the top of, here, let me point with this. The top of this stitch kind of gets covered up, and we're going into this one and this one. Okay? And we will skip that one. So we do half double crochet in each of the next 2, chain 1, skip, 2 half double crochets into the chain 1 space. Then go into the next one. It's not covered up. You have 4 in a row. There's the one we're going to skip, so we'll chain 1, skip that one, and put our final half double crochet into the end. Whoops. Try it again. There. Okay. Now we go into the second 1, 2, and this is the only one I'm going to mess with and go under both of the loops of that chain to make it neat. That's the way you should do it. I will not do that for time's sake on the others. This is why I'm messing around. Okay, and then you see how this has kind of gotten too big. Here's again where I give it a little tug and bring it into shape so it looks like the others. And I'll kind of move them around so they're distinct. And then if you're continuing with the same color, and again I want that loop not to be too big, I just go underneath and go into the, and do a slip stitch, and then chain 4 normally, not too loose, not too tight, because you need to work into it at the end of the round. Oh, guess we need to put up round 3 now. Okay, let's see here. Let's go out just a smidge. Whoop, too much. Go in a little bit. There, I think that's all on there. This one's a little longer, so I can't zoom in quite as much. So we'll leave it there long enough that you have time to see it and pause it now if you need to be, if you're one of those people that needs to read. I am going to point out that round 3 is what you're going to be doing on every odd round, and it is different. Okay? There is a rule. I'll read you the rule. If when you get 4 half double crochets in a row when you're coming up onto a corner, and the last half double crochet falls into the corner, you don't do a second half double crochet in the corner. basically. Now, I'm going to show you on the blanket here. Let's get it on the front side. And I think the green was maybe the easiest to see it on. Okay. No. Yeah. Oh, that's a that's a beginning corner. That won't work. Okay. Here. There. Non-beginning corner. Okay, you see here in the green, you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the fourth one is falling into this corner. Oops, I'm up a bit high. It's falling into the corner. And you just go ahead and do your 3 chains. And you put 2 into the corner to start. So even though, I mean, you can look at this, even though it's odd in the corner on every odd row, it's like that. See, there's in the blue. Oh, this is a beginning one for the yellow, so it doesn't. It's harder to see. But even so, here it is in the white. There it is in the yellow. Even so, when you look at the whole blanket, it is not noticeable. It's what works. You can't put a second one there because your count will be off. You'll have 5 in a row. So it does not work to do it that way. Okay, so we will start. This is the way we will do all of the odd rows. I tried doing this ahead so it wouldn't tangle up like this. It's got a mind of its own. If we can get some out here, enough to go around the whole round, that might work. Okay, so yeah, I'll go back. Okay, to begin the round, slip stitch, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you just do that normally, not too loose, not too tight, and 2 half double crochets, one here, and the fourth one will fall in the corner. So we've completed 4. We don't put another half double crochet. We do our 3 tight chains for a corner, and then we do our 2 half double crochets like normal. At the beginning of every side you do 2 half double crochets. That's normal. Okay? Then you go into the 2 middle. Chain 1, 2, brace up here to the corner. When you get to the corner, there's only one place that you can really go into easily. You go into that, and then you go into the corner, just like on the other corner. Do our 3 tight chains, and then start again on this side with 2 half double crochets. And again, there's only one that's easy to get into. The other one goes in the corner. and then 3 tight stitches or chains for your corner, and start this side with 2 half double crochets, and we'll race down to the end without trying to show you much, so I can show you how to end it. Okay. Okay. And there's only one place you can go there. Okay. This is already your stitch in the corner, so you're going to go into, and I'm not going to bother with trying to get 2, I'm just poke it in there and do your slip stitch and make it look at the top like the other ones. Excuse me. Okay, so that is the end of round 3, and what I would like to point out also is it's if you're into symmetry, it's best to end your project on an odd row, because you will have completed your 4 stitches together, where on an even row you have the 2 half double crochets in the corners, and as it gets bigger it'll be in every corner. You'll have the 2 of them at the end of the row hanging out by themselves, and if you end on an odd row you won't have that. Okay, so now we'll put up number 4. Let's see here. Maybe going just a smidge. Okay, this will be what you will do for every even round to the end of your project. Okay. Okay. Again, go into the, start them just the same. Go in, pull it maybe a little bit more so it doesn't look too messy. Chain 4, normal, and begin with 2 half double crochets in the corner. 2 in those 2 middle ones. Chain 1, skip, and then put 2 in the corner. And you can see where you've got 2 that are going to be hanging out there all by themselves, even on the end ones. So do your corner, 3 tight chains, and begin the next row. And we'll just zip down that, chain 1, 2 in the Okay, now I'll show you this corner. Should have 1 left. Chain 1, skip it, and put 2 in the corner. And 2 to start a side, 2 in the 2 center ones. Again, you only have 1 left. Chain 1 and skip that one, and put 2 in the end. And 2 to start. I will say it goes very fast, like any Afghan or project that starts in the center. Goes very fast on the beginning. Okay, I wanted to show you how to end this one. Okay, you've completed 4. You're skipping 1. You have 1 already in the corner. You've chained 1, you've skipped that one, and then you put 1 right as close as you can right before where you did your slip stitch there. And then you go into the second. And I'm not going to be neat again. Just jam it in there. And I like to kind of pull on them and make them lay down properly. And then you would just keep going. And you can see how putting 2 half double crochets in the first one I did, I was doing only 1. And I was actually trying to pick up the top one here, and it looked messy, and the filet boxes weren't looking nice. But you can see how it's starting to do this diagonal that goes right through the center, which was what I was looking for on my when I did the playing with filet rectangle. Worked really hard at getting it to that point. And let's see. And you don't see it on this. Let's see it on this one. Let's see if we can go out as far as possible. Here we go. Yeah. I think we're on the back. This one, yep. Okay. But you can see here, I think, yeah. You can see here the diagonals going right through the center. Here, where they go through the center all the way up. But you can also see where they go through from here and follow through this way also. So it gives it a really nice effect. I really like this pattern, and I hope you do too. If I already said this, I'm sorry. Already on my Playing with Yarn Facebook page is the Playing with Filet rectangle. There are also videos on my YouTube channel which is just under my name, Lynn Vanderberg, on YouTube, because I've had the YouTube channel for ages. Long before I did the Playing with Yarn Facebook page, which I created basically to share my free written patterns, links to them. So those are up. I will have to put up this video before I can get links to put in the PDF pattern. This is just my rough draft of the PDF. It's not finished yet. It needs the links in it for Playing with Yarn and for where to go to the link to give out to people to share the pattern, and also the link to the video for this video. So I think that was all. I might have forgotten. It's hard to remember because I think this is like the 4th take now for this. I hope I stayed in the camera area. I have trouble with that. So that's why all 3 or whatever of the other ones have been rejected. So that is the end of Playing with Filet. Let me go in. It's the beginning of the pattern here. Playing with Filet HDC, half double crochet. So have a great evening. 3, and that is